first wanna find you.
Welcome to the stream, guys. What's up, dude?
Sitting on sunshine, drinking my mood.
So, just want to
Touch my
talk real
shoulder,
quick. Can you hear me, by the way?
and I move right to you.
Is my audio clear? Is my music too loud? Let me know.
Move right to you. When you're right here, when you're right here, everything stops and it all comes clear. When you're right here, when you're right here, I feel my heart slow.
What's up, Ian? How's it going, dude?
Right here.
Thank you for joining the stream. You can hear me? Can you hear me?
You're just a friend to me, I'm just a friend to you. You're talking about memories, you don't have a clue. If it's sun, baby, would you love me too? What would you do? When you're right here, when you're right here, everything stops and it all comes clear. When you're right here, when you're right here, I feel my heart slow, I feel the time slow, right here.
Sick. Well, the purpose of the stream today is just for you to have have the chance to ask me any questions you may want or you may have regarding ground tricks. But we're also going to be talking about snowboards today. So when you're starting ground tricks, if you find yourself struggling to do a lot of things, a lot of times it could be your gear that's holding you back. You have to have the right board, you have to have the right gear to do these tricks or to actually progress a little faster in these tricks. So that's why today I wanted to spend some time just talking about the boards. So yeah, we could talk about first camber profile. So if you look at this chart right here, so this shows you the different types of cambers there are. Okay, so right here, this first one is a regular camber. You can see the contact points are right here. So this is a regular camber, and a regular camber snowboard is going to give you a lot of power, a lot of pop, a lot of edge hold, a lot of stability, because you have that camber underneath your board. And the trade-off of this is your board is going to end up being stiffer, your board is going to catch your edge easier, it's going to be harder for you to bend. So that's the pros and cons of a camber shaped snowboard. Now, another really popular, let me add one more thing to camber. So for camber snowboards, a lot of the riders who've been riding for a longer period of time, who have better control or who want better accuracy and precision, they tend to use camber snowboards. So moving on to the hybrid camber. This is a hybrid camber snowboard, and you see how the camber is just a smaller version of this camber. So you see this camber is just almost like in between the bindings. So it's a smaller camber, and then there's also these flat parts right here. So the contact points have these like large flat parts. This is a hybrid camber snowboard. And this is a snowboard shape that's really good for beginners. It's really good for people who have just started doing ground tricks, because you still have that stability that you get from camber. You can still hold your edge pretty well. but you have these flat areas at the tips so that it prevents you from catching your edge less. So that's the benefit of this profile. I really recommend this board profile to people who are just starting off doing ground tricks because it gives you the freedom of doing presses without catching your edge that easily, and it also gives you that camber for precise control. Now, the third most popular ground trick profile is a W camber. So you see how this is like a W shape? Some people call it gull wing camber or hybrid camber in America, but this is called a W camber in Japan. So because it's shaped as a W. And the benefit of a W camber board is, of course, this is the rocker profile shape. So overall the board is pretty rocker, and then just underneath the two binding inserts there's these little two cambers for you to use to gain grip. But you see how this area right here is a rocker, so you put the board down completely flat on the ground, you could already spin it because this part of it, the board is raised, and it allows you just to spin effortlessly. So that's a W camber board, and a W camber board is harder to control. It's harder to learn at first, but once you spend the time on the board, you develop the ability to use it, and it just takes time for you to get used to a W camber board. But when you get good at it, some people call it the four-wheel drive of snowboards, because you have one camber right here underneath your feet, front foot, one camber underneath your back foot, so you have two separate cambers that you can take advantage of. And this type of board is just really easy to learn presses on, to spin on, to do drive spins, and a bunch of tricks that require spinning on the ground. But the trade-off is it's not going to be as stable as when you are carving with a full camber board. So what camber profile would I recommend? It honestly really depends on your skill level and what type of style you want to go for. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I would say if you choose a camber profile, it's better to stick with that camber profile for multiple seasons instead of switching constantly to different camber profiles. So it's really hard for you to use a camber profile, like a full camber or a hybrid camber, for a couple years and then switch to a W camber. That learning process is going to be a little longer, but it will be slightly easier for you to change from a W camber to a regular camber. But it's still going to take some time to get used to. The recommendation I would give is to just invest. It's almost like picking a weapon, right? Like you're playing like an RPG game. You got to pick a weapon and you got to stick to using that weapon. Like it's like picking a class. If you want to be like an explosive, fast speed, powerful rider, you could pick a camber profile. If you want to be like a jack of all trades where you could do press tricks and jump tricks, you could do a hybrid camber profile. If you want to do more press oriented tricks and have a lot of like spins and presses on the ground, then maybe you need a W camber profile. But let's take a look at the rest of this chart. So along this line, we have the jump oriented boards, we have the spinning boards on the ground, and then on top here we have boards that are more stable in carving, and at the bottom we have boards that are easier to torsion, twist, and control. So today I'm going to be just focusing on two different brands, Spread and Ground Trick. So you can see the spread boards, they're going to be in the black. Right here, LTAF, AXF, 0, BXF, BX, LTB. Those are going to be the main spread boards. For ground trick boards, we have the Buff, Xeno, Base. Right there. So, right now, until the 23rd, which is only a couple more days, like only 5 more days, we have the ground trick snowboards and the spread snowboards available for pre-order. This is going to be your chance to get these boards for cheap, and it's also going to be your chance to ensure that you get the model and size you want, because a lot of these Japanese boards, they're made to order, so they only make what they pre-order every single year, or like at the shops, order a couple for themselves. That's all they're gonna make. They don't make a lot of these boards every year, so that's why it's really hard to get them. That's why they're also more expensive, because they're low production. They're not mass produced. So a spread board's gonna be around $800. The ground trick boards are a little bit cheaper at $600, and then there's one ground trick board, which is the Gain. That's gonna be at $489. This is gonna be a really good beginner board for people to get into because of its lower price, and it's also a lot softer, so it's easier for you to learn how to use. Yeah. So a Solomon Sight 156, I don't know that board, I haven't used it, but most boards on the American market are not soft enough to do ground tricks, and even if they're soft enough, like the battalions, they're gonna run into some issues because they're not really made to do ground tricks. So what do I mean by they're not made to do ground tricks? So one of the most prominent tech, like a lot of these ground trick boards, they have a lot of tech that goes into them to help them do ground tricks better. So let me go over the couple main ones right here. So having the first one right here is a steel edge. So ground trick snowboards, they use a softer steel edge. That allows them to bend a little bit easier. So it gives more flexibility. That steel goes all the way around your board. So since that metal is softer, it gives more flexibility to that edge. And the softer steel edge also makes it so that when you bend your board in that crazy position, it won't crack over time. But the downside of the softer steel edge is if you take it to the park and you accidentally smack the steel edge on some feature, it's gonna bend a lot easier than American boards. So the next thing is gonna be a convex base. What a convex base is like, imagine like this is completely flat snowboard. A convex base is gonna make the board slightly like a tube shape, like this, like slightly like a spoon. So it's kind of like Battalion's 3BT tech. If you ever seen a Battalion board, you know how the tips of the board is like a really aggressive spoon. So ground trick boards have the same thing, they just have it a lot less. So for spreads lineup, you see all the boards with the LT in front of it, they're gonna have a more aggressive spoon shape. All the X boards are gonna have a less aggressive spoon shape. And then the other tech that just makes ground tricking easier is going to be the flex profile, so the materials that they're using in the board. Where's so on top of the materials, they also have a specific degree that they bevel their edges at, it's like 1.5 degrees. So that makes it so that you can still carve when you want to engage your edge and carve, but since it's beveled at 1.5 degrees, it also makes it a little bit less catchy. So you catch your edge a little less. Damn nice. Yeah, going to Japan's legit, dude. You must see a lot of the beast ground trick snowboarders there. There's a lot of them at Yuazawa, Dynaland, White Pietakasu, or Washi Takake. They're all like in that Gifu area. So yeah, you should see a lot of those guys there. But I'm not based in Japan. I'm based in LA, California. Yeah, if you let me know what your height and weight is, Ian, I can recommend a board for you, and then you can see if you can grab one in Japan. That's funny. Yeah. Like, ground tricking is hard if you're just only doing it by yourself. Like, you really need a group of people to do it with, or like a group. Your whole group needs to be doing ground tricks, and then it'll be much easier to get into. Yeah, so just be a lookout on the ground trick. It's called the GT snowboards, GT boards. They're gonna be cheaper than they're probably the cheapest. Besides FNTC, they're probably the cheapest ground trick brand out there. You could get a gain for like $400. And Spread is kind of like the premium snowboard, one of the premium brands, along with November or Moss, or even like Rice 28. Those boards are all gonna run you about, if you're buying it in Japan, like $600-700, and you know, some November and Moss boards are like $800. Yeah, and that's why the guys in Japan improve so fast too. They all have like friends, and they ride like the park riders here. They have a big group of people who like there's like I see like 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, and they just ride together and they like take turns going down the run, and they all just like watch each other and cheer for each other or give each other tips. So yeah, it's definitely something that will help you improve a lot faster if you just had a group of people. Do you spend your whole season there? Do you guys like buy a house out there or something? You guys like split a place out there? I see like the houses out there are so cheap right now. I feel like I should buy one with my friends.
You keep your distance, but you look my way. Like you're searching for the part you lost.
Welcome to the stream, guys. If you guys have any questions on snowboards, you can let me know. If you need help picking a snowboard out, just let me know your weight, let me know your height, let me know how strong your legs are, and we can try to find a board for you. Let's keep looking at this. So I have it. This chart was made by my friend. This chart was made by KK. He's another ground trick rider in America, and he's tried all these boards personally himself. So this is like a little list he came up with. On this list, I have personally tried the Growent, the Worm, the Xeno, the AXF, the LTAF, the Zero. I've also tried the Access. I've tried the LTV. I've tried the GT3. I've tried the GT2. I've tried the Circus. I've tried the 50/50. I've tried the RD. And also the Desire right here. November Desire. So, out of all these boards, I would say if I were to pick a board to start on, I would probably pick the BXF, maybe the Growent, either the Worm, Buff, somewhere right here. Because this is, in my opinion, if you look at this chart, if you go down here, this is going to be how soft the board is, this is how stiff the board is, because right here, this is also stiffness, this is like carving stiffness, riding stability, and this is soft torsional flex. So the more torsional flex you have, the more maneuver control you have. And when you're first starting out, you don't really need to practice jump tricks that much. You're mostly going to be practicing more press oriented tricks to learn how to use your board, like press-oriented tricks, compasses, dry spins, zone, Owen. All those press-oriented tricks are going to be a lot easier if you have a softer board. So I would highly recommend something like the Growint, the BXF, or maybe even the Buff, the Worm. If you want a W camber board, Buff or Worm. If you want a regular camber board or a hybrid camber board, I would definitely recommend a Growint, BXF, or maybe a Circus, somewhere, one of these boards down here. But the ones that I have available for pre-order right now is going to be either the BXF, which is this one right here, BXF. This is a hybrid camber board. Another good one for beginners, the Spread DX. This is Spread's newest board on their lineup. It's their first W camber board. And then for the other one, the best deal that I have is going to be the GT Snowboard Gain. Yep, right here. And this is gonna only cost you $489 to pre-order, and that's like really good compared to a Spread board's full price. Sounds good, Ian. Take care, brother. Happy Chinese New Year. So yeah, when you guys are starting out, you don't want to start out with a super stiff board, because when you start out with a super stiff board, it's just going to fight you the whole time and you're just going to be struggling to bend it. So analogy I really like to use is, imagine going to the gym for the first time. You walk into the gym, you walk to the weights. Are you going to pick up the 100-pound dumbbell, or are you going to pick up like a 10, 15, 20-pound dumbbell? Like you could get a 100-pound dumbbell, but you're not going to be able to move it very effectively, and it's not going to give you a good workout. It's not going to help complement your strength and make you stronger. So same thing as with picking a board. You don't want to pick a really stiff, aggressive, powerful, repulsive board right off the bat, because you can't even be able to control that yet. You want to start off with something small, something that will complement your strength, because ground tricking, at the end of the day, it's all about using your board. It's all about manipulating your board and using your board's energy to do tricks. Like, you're not using a lot of your own energy most of the time. Yes, you still need to have enough leg strength to like balance on one leg and hold a press in one leg, but a lot of these tricks, you're using the momentum of the hill and the repulsion of your board to generate that rotational power. Yes, we still have to use our upper body sometimes to lead the rotation, but a lot of the rotation is coming from the board itself. And when your board is too stiff for you and it fights you, it just also increases the chances of you getting injured. So like if you have a really stiff board, you can increase the chances of you injuring your knees a lot more, because when you fall and you're like, rolling around, if your board is super stiff, all that power is going to go to the weakest link, which is probably going to be your muscles or your ligaments or your joints. So you want your board to be way softer, so that in those cases, it's not putting too much force onto your joints, not putting too much forces onto your tendons and ligaments. So yeah, always good to start off with a softer board and then work your way up and get a stiffer and stiffer board each year as your strength grows.
Wake me slow with your whisper steal the night's last breath. The air hums warm, a gentle glow. Time bends quiet and moves so slow. Wake me slow, wake me slow. Let the light drip, let it flow between us, soft and low. Wake me slow,
Let's see if we can.
wake me slow. The trembling light shivers near, a tender pulse. I feel you here. No clocks to chase, no need to run. Just two hearts beating with the sun in your breath. It writes the morning song, a melody where
Go watch some ground trick videos since none of you guys have any questions.
each pause is
Ian was the only guy that was talking to me. There's like a couple other people in here. You guys don't speak English? No comprende?
wake me slow.
Okay.
Wake me slow, let the light drip, let
Real
it flow between us, soft and low.
I swear Toy Films had like a Japanese channel, but now it's gone. So this is a channel that you guys should watch, Pepe. I know it's all in Japanese, but now you could use like there's this browser called Comet, and then it's really cool. Like you could just use Comet to translate your videos. So watch, let me show you. So like this is Comet right here, and for example, if I watch let's watch him talk about his boards. Okay, we could watch him talk about the gain and the cool thing about Comet is there's this AI assistant right here on the side, and then you can be like, translate this video for me to English. And then boom, look, it translates to, oh, his name is Kai too? What? So it translates his entire video into English so you could understand what they're saying and you can kind of like watch it on.
Gina. いかに
So let's see what they say about the gain. So the changes are really small, it's almost the same before, but the flex has been reduced by a few percent. In numbers, the flex is softer, especially towards the nose. Some riders might feel like no difference when they ride it, but I also feel like it's easier to understand and more forgiving for beginners. So the front of the part is slightly softer. So it's still a gain, but now you can bend it more like the buff. It's not identical to last year, but it keeps the good punch from before. Because it's soft, it hardly doesn't really catch an edge. It's harder to reverse edge for beginners, and that's a good focus. So he's talking about the torsional flex. We designed it so that's harder to catch an edge and the board flexes and turns easier for people who are just starting freestyle. So torsional flex is gonna, having a board with really soft torsional flex is gonna let you prevent edge catches a lot more.
You give a look and I already read your mind. You wanna take the pace and leave your doubts all undefined. You melt for me when our bodies intertwine.
So it's for example, when Ryu does a front nose press and then finish it with a Danish step.
これもね、そうだよ。数値上では軽い。
まあなんかスイングウェイトとかがあるんでやっぱりどうしても
ちょっと違ってくるんで、
うん
数値上では軽いはずなんですよ、データ的には。今持ってるんですけど、あんま持って
Yeah, so GT brand really tries to approach the people. So if you're scared, just run away to the GT booth. So he talks about yeah, anyways, there's a bunch of videos you could watch online. They also break down a lot of tricks, and you could use this browser called Comet to help you, what's it called, translate it.
But I'm indifferent. The water feels good. If I were with you, then I could stand you. But I can't stand you. Your voice is in my head. What did you just say? I should have told you. You look good in blue. How does it feel to know you're already dead? If you said you would, then you should have stayed. And I don't need to tell you, I already knew. The future's in my
Where did Toys Films YouTube channel go? Do you guys watch Toy Films? There used to be so many good videos from Toy Films, but did he get deleted? So strange. Need to check on Instagram to see where to find his. Thank you, Myung. Yo, do you ride in Korea? You go to Phoenix Park? I have a lot of Korean snowboard friends over there.
And it's cold and blue.
Yeah, it seems like toy films is no longer available in America. Why is that? That's strange.
Silent shore, the air is cold. This is where the dream begins. So I can't stop losing ground. Losing ground. So I can't stop. Following the moon. Following the moon. I'm soaring higher.
Damn, that sucks. There was like a bunch of videos on Toy Film's channel that was like what inspired me to start doing ground tricks, but now we can't watch it anymore.
Yeah, I'm rising from the wire.
Let's watch Tomo-kun review the newest Snowboard. For those of you guys who don't know who Tomo-kun is, Tomo-kun
Hi,
is this
it's
guy right
Motaku.
here.
Thank you for always watching.
He's probably
Today's
like the,
video is
いやどうもともくんです
he's probably like the most respected top ground tricker in Japan right now. He's not the youngest rider, but he is the most knowledgeable, the most technical, and his tricks look the best. So a lot of people revere him over there.
いつもご視聴ありがとうございます。本日の動画なんですけど、久しぶりにやりましょうか。板のガチレビューです。
来た!
はい。でしかも、なんとこっから
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. All right. Let's see what he thinks of the new spider.
からのシーズンは今もね2627来期モデルの試乗会始まりましたね。
始まりました。
僕ねいろんなメーカーさんの来期モデルたくさん試乗していこうかと思います。
おい。
激アツじゃないこれ。
熱い。
なんで試乗会なかなか行けないなっていう人も多いと思うんですよ。僕がいろんな板レビューしていくので、これからねこういう動画も参考になるかなと思ってやっていこうと思います。本日紹介する板は
So he's talking about the
こちら
new
です。
Spread
ピ
DX.
ラトリーボードではもうおなじみ
This
ス
is
プレッドが出ました。
this is
2627 ニュー
Spread's
モデル
newest board.
DX です。今日は後ろでね
And
ブ
it's
ロー
a
ジャーのスペッ
W
ク
camber
の
board.
試乗がやってます。ありしております。簡単にこの板のスペックの紹介なんですけど、形状がダブルキャンバーでございます。
おお。
ついにスプレッドからダブルキャンバー出ましたね。DX なんですけど、メンズとレディース共用モデルとなります。メンズとレディースで若干形状が違うらしいです。で、レディースのは結構こう、しっかりとしたダブルキャンバーで、シナリオ十分に使えるようにっていうところで設計されてるらしくて、で、メンズの方は、レディースに比べて板の反り具合を 60% 軽減してるということで、ちょっとこう、反り上がりが薄い、少ないらしいです。で、本日のレイアウトなんですけど、板の長さが150センチ、推奨が52センチということで、今回52で、推奨で、セッティングしております。で、ビンディングが、2627モデルの、リロード GT。アングルが 9-6。大人気スプレッドから今流行りのダブルキャンバー登場ということで、どんな乗り味か非常に楽しみでございますので、早速、行きましょうか。では早速滑っていくんですが、まず先にこの場で板しならせてパタパタしていきたいと思います。
えい。
はいはいはいはい。
おお。
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 なんか思ったより、センターフレックス柔らかいですね。スプレッド結構クロージャーに比べるとまだ張りある方じゃないですか。なんで、どういうダブキャン作ったんかなと思ったんですけど、センター結構しなりますね。だいぶ柔らかく作ってるかな。
すごい。
板の下に見ても。
やばいわ。
でしょ？そうだな。足下から外にかけて、結構しっかりと腰のある張りがありますね。
おお。
で、やや乗り位置的に、このバインのちょっと外らへんがちょうどポケットになる感じで、カチッと止まる部分があります。結構扱いやすいんじゃないかな。僕ダブキャンねずっと使ってて、結構詳しいんでいろいろやっていきたいと思います。
楽しみや
ね。
こりゃ。
おはいはいはい。じゃあちょっとドルフィンターンやりますね。
はい。
なるほど。
おお。
いや、めちゃくちゃ扱いやすいぞ。
すごいわ。
なんだろうな、また新しいな。
今までにない感じ？
あんまりないな。でもね、ちょっとワームに似てるかもしれん。
マジか。
ワームのセンターフレックス柔らかい版。
はいはいはい。
なんで初年度のワームって今よりもちょっとセンター柔らかかったんですけど、なんかそれにちょっと近い感じがするね。なるほど。ちょっと簡単な技から、まず乗り系で、骨らへんいっときますか。
そうですね。
骨3。ほうほうほうほうほう。今ね、足下だけで、ポンって踏んだんやけど、センターはしなったんだけど、ノーズテールが張りあるって言ったやんか。なんで最後こう押し出すときに、急にちょっとドンって、板弾かれちゃったんで、もうちょっと多分外の、に行った方がいいかもしれない。足下ってよりかは、やっぱその最初に言ってた、ちょっと1個、倍1個外分。
はいはい。
ちょっとそれでそういうのやってみます。
お願いします。
ほらほらほらほら。や
お
っぱそっちのがしっかり板しなわせて、その外の張りのあるところも踏んで弾くっていうので、下よりも若干外
はいはい
踏んであげた方が調子いいかもな。
全然違ったわ。
骨5でちょっと回し込みもしていってます。はいはい。もう一回いきますね。なるほど。 外の反発だけでこう最後返そうとしたんですけど、そうするとちょっと詰まるな。センターフレックスのトーションちょっと意識してあげた方のが5とか回しやすいかもしれない。
はいはいは
はい、ちょっともう一回やってみますね。
はい。
なるほど。いやおもろいな。なんかやっぱねワームじゃなかった。今ワームかなと思って、ワームも外のとこだけちょんっていけるんだけど、多分そのやっぱバランスが違うからかその感じにならなかったんで、一旦ワームって思わずに普通にソネ5でいきますね。ちょっとトーション強めにかけて。
はいはい。
おー、はいはいはいはいはいワームじゃなかったっすわちゃんとノーズテールにはその張りのあって耐える部分があるんで、そこに対してしっかりセンタートーション意識してあげると結構綺麗に返ってくるんで、外だけの反発でちょんっていうよりかはトーションも使いながらリリースしてあげるといいっすね。
なるほど。
次応援。
はい。
じゃあ普通の応援やります。おー、扱いやすい。はいはいはい。やっぱね、足下ぐらいで行こうと思っても、応援とかでこうやって板を踏んでこうぐるっと回すときに足下から若干外に寄ってくやんね。それでちょうどいいとこに入るわ。
ねえ。
外いきなり使いに行くってよりも中から外にかけてぐーって踏んでいくといい感じですね。
なるほど。
ちょっとじゃあ外だけ意識して次応援やってみます。
はい。
さあどんな感じになるか。おお耐えるね。
すごいわ。
耐えますわ。なんかそういうところはねワームっぽいんよ。やっぱ普通のなんやろよくあるダブキャンってこういう。
Let's see. So you got a spread RT6 or Rice 28 RT6. So spread is not my brand, so it's not a board that I made. It's just a Japanese ground trick board brand. And the Rice 28 is the same, from the same category. It's also a Japanese made ground trick board brand. So it's not gonna be too much of a difference. Let me see what kind of board it is. It's a hybrid camber board. So no, it's not a bad board. It's not the stiffest board because you see the flex is about 4. So I feel like for beginners, a flex 4 is a little bit too stiff. You want something more towards like a flex 3 if you're a beginner, and that'll make you learn presses a lot easier. So the board, it's not a bad board. You just probably got a board that is a little bit out of your skill level, and you just need to spend some time to grow into it if you want to grow into it. But if you don't want to spend the time to really build that strength and grow into it, then you could get a cheaper, you could get a softer board. But it seems like the RT6 is a more all-around snowboard. It's like more for like stronger riders, more advanced riders. Yeah, because it's like an all mountain. It's an all mountain board, so it's a little bit stiffer. Yeah, but definitely really solid if you're trying to get a board that could do everything. But if you're just purely focusing on ground tricks and you want to learn ground tricks, I feel like you could get like a slightly softer board to practice on.
あんま端
うんうん。
から触んに行くとやっぱ潰れちゃってまくられたりするんやけど、でワームそこは良かったのよ。
うんうん。
外がしっかりキャンバーも強いからしっかり噛んで反発も強いし、こういう応援とかの動きでやってあげると全然外も頼れるし結構安定して乗れるんで、
は
悪くないですね。トーション使いやすいし。
あ、すごいわ。
次スワロテ、
はい。
スワロテールやってみます。おー、はいはいはいはいはいはいはい。やっぱしっかりキャッチした時にペタッとセンターしなって
うんうん
安定する場所ありますね。まあ、ただ長くホールドショートするとそのノーズテルの圧がちょっと強いんでポンで返されるんで、
うんうん。
あんまこうじーっとこうじわーって乗るってよりかはこうパンパンいってあげた方のがいいかもわかんないですね。
あー。
踏んで長いこと行き過ぎると最後ちょっと返されちゃう。こう
わー、なるほど。
まああんまりそういう乗り方する人いないですよね。はい。っていうのをまあ参考になればなと思います。
うんうん。
次弾き行きますか。
来ました。
はい。一旦 B 乗り行きましょ
いったね。
う。はい。さあどんな感じか。乗りはさすがのダブキャンということで調子良かったんですけど、弾きはどうか。
おー。おお。
マジか。
おお。
あー。内から外にかけてこう踏んでいくの強いわ。
そうか。
そう、最初センターがしなって、
うんうん。